Michigan Magazine is kept on the road by our many Michigan friends. Cops and Donuts Bakery, downtown Clare, a winning combination. Cops and Donuts. It's back and making memories for a new generation. The Rustic Inn of Lewiston, now open with hot, delicious food, your favorite beverage, and an atmosphere that'll keep you coming back to make new memories and new friends. The new Rustic Inn on Red Oak Road, just south of Lewiston. Experience the beauty, artistry, and taste of northern Michigan. Come to Amish Country Natural Products on Mount Tom Road, north of Mile, just off M33. From arts and crafts to fresh foods and vegetables, all natural, all local, all good. Stop by and get acquainted with Amish Country Natural Products, 1454 North Mount Tom Road, Mile. Hale Hardware, your do-it center in Hale, Michigan. Much more than a regular hardware store, providing everything you need for whatever your project is, along with a knowledgeable sales staff to get her done. Serving northern Michigan since 1946. Hale Hardware, south of M65 at Ainsley in Hale. On this week's show, it was Michigan's own House of Wax, the Candelier of Ludington. In this Michigan Magazine classic, we visit a husband and wife team who parlayed the love of wax and candle making into a thriving business. From beautiful special occasion masterpieces to the dipping of body parts into warm wax to create personal wax replicas, you could experience it all at the Candelier. Then we're bursting with sweetness as we visit Sweet Mysty Sweets of Luzerne, where this wilderness village shop invites locals and tourists to stop by for handmade goodies with an espresso on the side. Plus, there's a side menu with healthy stuff. It's all coming up on Michigan Magazine. The spirit has returned to the historic, newly remodeled Carrie James restaurant in Cummins. Bring that special person for a delicious meal out, or bring the family for an amazing dining experience. The new owners have expanded seating and developed a delicious menu second to none. Stop in for a quick bite or experience the delicacies being prepared for you now at the new Carrie James of Cummins. Hingeman Acres Canoe Livery and Resort on M33 just north of Mayo, catering to the outdoor enthusiasts. Cabins, canoes, kayaks, rafts, and more. Daytime or overnight trips along the world-famous Asabo River. A family getaway for over 75 years. Clemix Sales and Service on Mapes Road, west of Mile, your complete recreational vehicle sales and service connection. Visit their beautiful showroom of new and pre-owned ATVs, lawnmowers, power equipment, snowmobiles, utility vehicles, and more. Clemix Sales and Service is also the home of the American-made Victory motorcycle line on display at Clemix on Mapes Road, Mile.
Michigan is the home of many talented candle artists. In our travels, we visited with both designers and carvers that have made Michigan their home, each filling their own unique niche in candle making. On this edition of Michigan Magazine, we travel to Ludington to find one of the most unique candle making operations we've ever discovered. The Candelier is owned and operated by a husband and wife team of Greg and Melanie Demon, who not only design and carve specialty candles for all occasions, but also offer candle making classes. Greg and Melanie are dedicated to promoting the art of candle making to all ages. When we arrived at the Candelier in downtown Ludington, we were greeted by Melanie and immediately overwhelmed by the variety of candles on display in their huge showroom.
Hi.
Hi, Melody. How are you?
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
By gosh.
Okay.
This is Greg Dimon. This is Dale Vaughn.
Hi, Greg.
Hi, Dale. How are you?
Glad to meet you.
My pleasure.
I've heard a lot about this candle shop. Let's just take a quick little walk down through here and see what you have. My gosh.
Yeah, I'd like to show you some of the things that we do. We do a lot of different kinds of candles in here.
And these are all your own designs, too. I mean,
Yeah.
Well, a lot of them are. Like, we take something that we call a ribbon candle, which was one of the first candles that we started making, and everyone knows these because they look like the ribbon candle.
Yes.
And then we just did a little different twist on it, and we call this a lotus.
Well, that's what we're going to learn more about today, folks. We're going to learn more about the art of making candles. There are candle makers, and then there are candle makers. And you folks are in that class of candle makers.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, we've been doing this a long time.
Okay.
About 22 years.
22 years. Well, that's quite a spell.
You are Michiganians to start with. You have been out of the state for a while, but you decided to come back home.
Right, that's true. We lived in Gatlinburg, Tennessee for 20-some years and enjoyed that area of the country, and we moved back here. Fremont is where I grew up. Now, Melanie is from Memphis originally.
Memphis?
So she's a Tennessean.
Hey.
Right.
But I love it here.
Yeah, well, good to have you here. My gosh. And especially what you're doing.
We enjoy the Four Seasons. My parents live in Fremont, and I grew up in Fremont. And Ludington's a great town.
What
ever made you decide to get into the candles to start with?
Well, Melanie is an artist. I used to teach arts and crafts, and I don't know, we just chose candle making. We wanted to live in Gatlinburg. It's a highly a creative community, a lot of different craftsmen, a lot of tourists, And so we just chose candles and learned from scratch.
Was there something though that led it to, I mean, there's certainly something that led you to the candle to start with. Was it the glow or what?
We had some friends that were candle makers, and they kind of encouraged us to get into it. And it's a medium that's easily lends itself to being very creative. We make hundreds of different types of candles, and therefore we can express our artistic ability and can experiment, do different things, which we do. And we're always experimenting, always coming up with new ideas and new ways to express that artistic ability, I guess.
The medium that you work with, is it a paraffin or a wax or what? Or is there multiples of waxes that you work with, or one particular paraffin that you work with?
Well, there are a lot of different types of waxes. We use paraffin or petroleum wax. We buy our wax from the oil companies that they buy huge amounts of wax. We also work with beeswax. There's, probably dozens of different grades of wax that one can use. Just depends on what we're doing, whether we want a real hard candle to use a pillar, using a pillar mold, or we're using a scented jar candle. It's a totally different type of wax. Different additives are added to it. If we're dipping somebody's hand in wax, that's which we're gonna do, Dal.
You'll have to dip your hand.
Dip my hand. My wife would say
fun.
Dip your head, probably.
Well, a lot of people want to do that too. That's a different type of wax, and it lends itself for kind of an elastic, stretchy type of wax. Then when we use a different type of wax for carving candles, so there's molding, dipping, carving, a lot of different applications for different types of wax. We blend a lot of our own waxes. We put our own additives into wax. We put color stabilizers in them. There's just a huge variety.
Different color or
different dyes, different chemicals to make it so that, let's say, we want a candle that burns completely down the center without destroying the outside, or you'll want a candle that is totally consumed when you burn it, like maybe a 3-wicker. There's different chemicals, different waxes for that.
So when you work with these different waxes and come up with these different colors, and who is the artist or the artistic person, or is it a combination of both, that come up with these designs for whatever? I come in and I say, I'd like to have this.
Well, there's no question it's Melanie. Melanie has gone to art school, and she has that eye where she can create different things. She has a number of copyrights on candles and is very creative.
You have your niches, though, too. You do a lot.
Oh, yeah, I can dip a candle.
Good. He has a different way of approaching things, and I think
so. The combination works
colors
really,
and
obviously works really great from what I'm looking at out here. I'm telling you.
I think so.
Do you wake up in the middle of the night with an idea and sketch it down?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes you always get your ideas, when you want to sleep or.
What's the most popular? Is there a most popular, or is it a seasonal thing like the pumpkins are in now?
Yes,
and then it's Christmas.
You go with the
Thanksgiving.
seasons.
You go with the seasons. We do have some staples. Melanie's butterfly garden candle is very popular. We do a celestial design, both of which will burn down the center, and then light will glow through the design when you do burn it. They'll sell year-round. Of course, we'll carve candy canes on the side of a candle at Christmas time.
You make it to order. Somebody comes in and wants their wedding picture or a wedding candle, bingo.
Yes, we have some of those on display.
Do you surprise yourself sometimes?
Well, I don't, but Melanie surprises me. She'll say, now let's try a candle like this, like a southwestern design. And I'll say, well, I don't think we can do that. And then after 3 days, she comes up with a beautiful design. So I have to give her credit for that.
And when you find out that people come in and they look at it and they say, I want that, then you really know you've hit the
Do you remember the
mark.
tree
That's
stumps?
true. Tree stumps,
The tree stumps were real strange when we first started making those. Here's an example of a tree stump over here. This is a Halloween tree stump. Now, when you're dipping these, they look like something in a horror story that jump across the floor.
Think about crane thing or whatever.
Yeah, there are all these things hanging off the bottom, and so. But then we carve it up and make eye holes in Halloween ones.
Isn't that neat? My goodness.
But then You don't have to do the Halloween type tree. There are all kinds of trees we do, and there's
So
some
you come
other
up with the
ones.
idea here, but then Greg makes the mold.
Greg makes the molds. He's an expert on making molds. He can take an object, anything that, you know, almost anything that you can conceive of, he can make a mold of it.
So you come up with this thought and said to Greg, yeah, I visualize this.
We get together on these things. You know, he'll have an idea and we'll decide to make something, you know, to make it look like a candy.
You work this with clay? Is that what you were telling me earlier, Greg, as far as the mold?
The very center of this is cast in a mold, and then we'll dip it maybe 35 or 40 times into the different colors, and then Melanie will sculpt it and carve it. So like the little pumpkin here, or some of the animal figurines that we do,
Like the little
we actually... Yeah, a little ghost.
Yeah.
We'll actually make the mold for it. There aren't too many sources commercially where you can buy molds that are of different configurations. Like this pumpkin here, Melanie carved this out of clay, and then I made a mold of it. It's like a 3-piece mold.
That is neat.
And it's rather expensive material, but it's a lifetime mold. It'll last forever.
Yeah.
And
those are our molds up there that we pour. You know, we do all of our candle making actually right here.
You heard right. When you visit the Candelier, you'll be able to watch them make much of what you see in the showroom from scratch, with Greg and Melanie mastering all the technical aspects of wax and mold making. Customers are assured of candles that are both beautiful and durable. The Candelier shop is also popular with those who really want to get in touch with the process of candle making by offering patrons the chance to dip their own hand mold.
what you're going to do is dip your own hand into wax maybe 10 times, and you'll hold your hand into wax, into water for a little while.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Is this isn't the House of Wax, is it?
No, we're not. This isn't Vincent Price, and this isn't gonna.
Okay.
This is
all right. So the
kind of
first thing I do
but-
is I put my hand down in here.
Right,
Right.
roll it up a little bit. You're gonna hold
Okay.
it in there for a little while.
Right down here.
Right.
Like
And you
so.
have to decide what kind of pose you want your hand to be. Just a hand or the peace sign or number 1. Once you dip it into the wax, you can't move your wrist or your hand. It'll be to be straight in. You'll be kind of like a robot, straight in and straight out. And what you're going to do is put your hand up like this. You're going to dip it into it right about here, okay? And it'll seem a little bit different, but dip it on your own, straight in and straight out. Keep going. And bring it straight out.
Come out fast.
And don't move your hand. Now into the water, same way like a robot. Don't bend your wrist.
It
Just
makes us
bring it on out.
makes a smoother hand if you come out a little quickly.
A little quickly. Boy, I don't know, Del. You got a lot of hair on that arm there. This,
Maybe I should have shaved.
well, maybe taking the hand off might be a little difficult, but go ahead now. Hit that same liner down below.
Okay.
This is your second dip. That's good. Bring it straight out. Let it drip. All right, now into the water. Well, this will be fun. Okay, bring it on out. I'll catch some of the water off there. We're going to keep doing this about 8 more times. And then after we're done dipping it, we'll color whatever 2 colors you want or 1 color. We'll color it to your liking.
Same way.
Uh-huh. You're doing good.
Is it getting heavy, Del?
Yeah, your hand does get a little heavy. It's actually your hand because it's a little unusual the way you have to hold it.
If you're a candle lover, the Candelier is a place to become totally immersed in the art and beauty of this ancient craft. Bringing a new appreciation and dimension to candle making is Greg and Melanie of the Candelier in downtown Ludington.
Michigan Magazine is being brought to you in part by Cops and Donuts Bakery, downtown Clare. What began as a crazy idea among 9 police officers to purchase the historic Clare City Bakery quickly became an international phenomenon, carrying on a Michigan tradition with delicious donuts, pies, pastries, breads, original coffee, and more. Plus a full menu at the new adjacent Traffic Stop Diner. Downtown Clare, a winning combination. Cops and Donuts. The Michigan-made rebounding mailbox pole. Never again worry about the winter snowplow taking out your mailbox with this ingenious rebounding pole. Your mailbox takes a hit and keeps coming back year after year. Call now or visit their website, toughmailboxes.com. Something special's cooking, hot and delicious. Indulge yourself at Morning at Maggie's in Bay City. Omelets, frittatas, hotcakes, and more. Make every day special with a stop at Morning at Maggie's for breakfast or lunch on Saginaw in Bay City. The dreams of the Michigan entrepreneur have not died. As a matter of fact, Michigan Magazine sees more and more potential, successful small hometown businesses starting up more than ever before. No longer is much of the state's workforce relying on big corporations or chains for their family's livelihood. We love these stories of small town businesses working hard to become big-time successes. On today's show, we bring you the story of a couple who brought their dreams into reality in the northern Michigan village of Luzerne, not as one business, but in two endeavors. Dr. Gregory Thornton, a chiropractor, opened up an office to service a waiting clientele, and his wife, Misty Berry, opened up a bakery, coffee shop right across the street. What an amazing couple who came into the community full force with dreams in hand and an understanding of the hard work and dedication needed to make dreams come true. Well, in this edition of Michigan Magazine, we're on the road in Luzerne, and we're with Misty Berry. And with a name like Misty Berry, you've got to have something sweet going on. And this is your shop, isn't it, Misty?
Yes, I opened in July 1st of this year with a hope and a dream that I could bring a little bit of fun to Luzerne, someplace for kids to hang out, parents to have a good time, grandparents to treat their family to a nice after dinner dessert or pre-dinner dessert.
I tell you what, you can hear the echo in this room because you're all done making things for the day, right?
Correct.
Everything's kind of empty, but you do a lot of things more healthy than you'd find at other bakeries, right?
Correct. We use whole butter, cane sugar, and we have no partially hydrated soybean oil in any of our products. Everything is made in small batches in this little kitchen that we have.
Yeah.
And everything is baked fresh every day.
So you are truly a hands-on owner then, right?
A little too much. You should see some of where the hands flour ends up at.
What got you guys to come up into the Luzerne area and open up shop?
We were vacationing up here for a long time, and we just got tired of the hustle and bustle downstate, so we moved into our cottage that we had always vacationed in, and let our kids wanted to go to school up here, so our kids are in the school district, and we became part of the community right away. I'm a Luzerne Volunteer Fire Department person. My husband and I both participate on the 4th of July committee. We participate in the Predator Hunt committee, and we also participate in a lot of the athletic sports that the school has sponsoring.
So you went full speed into the community involvement here.
That's correct.
All right. And your husband has opened up shop kind of across the street too.
Right. He's the local chiropractor here in Luzerne, and we both like having our house so close to our place. It's a good thing and a bad thing, but we enjoy being able to bike to work or walk to work, and we take a side-by-side sometimes together. The cool thing about here is you'll run into a lot of neighbors, and then they'll sit down and chit-chat with you, and you'll find out what's happening and who's in need of maybe a car ride here or there. And yesterday I was just talking to a local person, and I said, have you seen such and such? I haven't seen him around town. And he goes, I haven't either. I'm going to drive by his house and let's make sure he's okay. I'll call you if he's not. So there's a lot of things like that. The good news, and then, if people need a little bit of, help or just understanding what's going on, sometimes you find out about it here.
There you go. But one thing is for sure at the sweet shop here is that when you come in, even though you might be in a down mood, you leave with a smile on your face.
I hope so.
And a full stomach, and good to know that you're not putting a lot of bad things into your system, right?
Right.
If you're in Luzerne in Oscoda County, be sure and stop by. It's located just north of the light in downtown Luzerne, across the street from the resident chiropractor's office. That's where we're headed next, to the office of Dr. Gregory Thornton, the other half of this dynamic duo. The Cedar Tavern and Grill of Ludington, where friends come to meet friends and families come for delicious food and a wholesome atmosphere. Come relax with your favorite beverage or bring the crew for a great meal and live entertainment. It's happening now at the Cedar of Ludington. Rose Valley Winery on Beechwood Road in Rose City. See what thousands are raving about, creating a delicious variety of award-winning Michigan wines. Stop by and taste for yourself. The taste of Michigan is yours at Rose Valley Winery. Thanks for joining us for this week's Michigan Magazine. Now here's the phrase of the week, Sweet Misty Sweets. Send that phrase along to one or both of the addresses listed here on your screen for a chance to win. Have a great week, and we'll see you next time for another edition of Michigan Magazine. We'd like to thank all those that help keep Michigan Magazine on the road. Cops and Donuts Bakery, downtown Clare. A winning combination. Cops and Donuts. Shopping for that special person just got easier when you shop at Rose City Drug at 2640 North M33, just south of the Rose City city limits. You'll find gifts for everyone on your list from 1 to 100. Shop online or in person at Rose City Drug, Rose City. Introducing the Weed Gator. For safe and easy aquatic weed removal, the Weed Gator is the #1 alternative to harsh chemicals for getting rid of pond and lake weeds. Safe and effective. See it in action now at weedgator.net. Made in the USA.
Vacation. Don't make the planning of it more than what you're trying to get away from. At northernmichigancabinrentals.com, you can choose from over 2,500 cabins, cottages, lodges, resorts, lakefront vacation home rentals, and more. Whatever experience you're looking for, from rustic to luxury and everything in between. No more rustling with telephone books. No more endless internet searches. Just one site with over 2,500 Northern Michigan destinations. northernmichigancabinrentals.com.